Seek Singles Mixer. It was a fail. Y'all do not have to go. I went, so y'all didn't have to go. It was all females in there. When I say it was all females in there, I posted my video around like 8:30, and it was not a lot of people in there. Around 9 o'clock, it got packed. Like, it got packed full of women. It was like 10 men in there. 10. And like half of them was with their girlfriends. I was like, did they not see the memo? Like, the memo, like, what's going on? Oh my God. And it was a $20 hookah. The hookah was $20, and then it was $10 for gratuity. Like, why they just didn't put $30 on the flyer? I was super blue about that. And then it was just like the girls told me. But I was optimistic because Seek normally has men in there. I ran into Brandon from Dallas. He ended up coming. He was like, I tried to tell the guys. And the girls were looking good. Don't get me wrong. Y'all came in there stepping. Y'all came in there with that ish on. And I absolutely love that for y'all because y'all really looked good. But like, ooh, I don't know. Y'all don't have to go. I'm not going back. I'll be back on a random day. Go on a Sunday. When the game is on, the guys be in there. But at that singles mixer, 0 out of 10. 0 out of 10.
Today, I was randomly thinking about how I think I saw a creator on here like a while ago talk about how she had went to a singles mixer at her church, I think, and it was mostly women there, very few men, and she was going up and talking to the men, and all the women were looking at her like, girl, what are you doing? And I just found it funny because I've seen a lot of creators talk about, you know, their experience at singles mixers, and a lot of the women will say like, yeah, it wasn't no men there. Like, it wasn't no men. And I've been at church and heard about singles mixers, and my pastor has been like, men, please come out. This is not a women's event. Like, we need the men to come out. And I just think it's interesting that men won't go out and like try to meet women, but women are always going out trying to meet men. And I'm like, I wonder why that is. I have sometimes thought about going to a singles mixer, but I'm so shy that I would not want to. I don't know. Something about it is just like, I don't know if I want to do that. But I started thinking, like, why is it that only women go to singles mixers and it'd be like 10 men in a room of like 50 women? Like, what is going on? Why don't the men want to go out and meet nobody?
I don't think these women are really listening. A man will tell you exactly why he's not coming. But yet and still, it's always, where are the men at? I don't understand why they're not coming.
Okay, so we're headed to a singles mixer event. And we're going to do this thing where my cousin is the first. Before anybody can talk to me, they have to make it through her first because she's savage when it comes to questions. What's your first question going to be?
Well, first we need to examine how tall they are because they have to be at least 6 foot.
Yep.
The second question is what their salary is because it better be at least, I would say, if they're 6 foot, at least like $300K a year, but if they're not, then every inch has to be another $100K, you know? So if they're like 5'5", we gotta add.
Why does she know me so well?
And then after that, we just have to figure out what kind of shoes they're wearing because if it's loafers, it's an automatic no.
Can't do loafers.
We could do a solid boat shoe, but it's also casual night, so we'll base a lot of our decisions based on how dressed up they are because even if it's casual night, they should still look.
And I don't like flip-flops either, remember?
No, you don't want to see any.
There's a woman in the comments that really said, you're really getting more and more lame with each post. What? That's crazy. That's diabolical.
How long your size?
I am 6'3". That's 1.9 something meters.
I did the math.
About your men's size?
She sure Russian, but she sure knew how to ask that. She did not ask nothing. Oh, wow.
My meat.
Banana size?
Oh, okay. It's decent, so no worries. That's okay.
I need big.
Okay, I got you.
Did y'all translate that for her or something? Whoa. Well, okay. Does that work for you? You said it's decent.
Это вот такое?
Oh, my Lord. What are they doing in Russia? Putin, what is this?
Oh, you're Russian.
I love y'all. She's Russian. Russian queen. Does that answer your question, or you want him to get very specific?
Да, interesting for me size. Size, banana size.
Oh. Do you want to specify, or are you content?
I'm good.
Okay, he's not going. Okay.
You don't know
I know how big I am. I just don't like to.
how many?
Good enough. How about that?
Такой.
He's not comfortable. Okay.
Good for me.
Okay, that works for you.
Да.
Okay.
She belongs to the street.
For the life of me, can somebody please tell me how I can stop ending up on the side of TikTok with women who hate men? I just saw an entire video of a woman talking about women not wanting men anymore. And then the little search at the bottom was women not wanting families. Who? I'm gonna tell y'all why this world that we live in is evil. Not the person who made the video, but society, how it's overall under the manipulation of very strong demonic spirits. People are supposed to have families. We were not made to live alone. We were made as human beings for dependency. A woman should want to be with a man. And the proof that you want to be with a man is that you keep sleeping with him. There's an entire group of women who say, oh, we don't need men, we don't want men, I ain't my grandma, I ain't my great grandma, I don't need no man taking care of me, da 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 da. Okay, that's cool and all. I don't want to be a wife, I don't want to have kids. Okay, that's cool and all. If you don't want to be a wife and you don't want to have children, stop doing that one thing. And I'm telling you to stop doing that one thing because maybe you have a call of abstinence over your life. Maybe you thrive more in purpose if you are not married to another person. But if you have no intentions on being married, having a family, being with a man, you should not have any sexual relations with one either. And the majority of women who be on that side of the internet in the comments saying yada yada yada, that's not your reality. This narrative of women no longer needing men is not okay. In the video, she was saying, because we no longer need men because now us as women, we're the head of household. That's not okay. Now, it's very sad that in the society that we live in modern day, a lot of women have been manipulated, taken advantage of, all of these other things, and put in position to where they had to raise families by themselves. But that should not be the normal. Too many of y'all parents then got left by y'all daddy that y'all think that it's normal. A woman is not supposed to be the head of a household. It's out of order. Now, as a woman, you can be single. You can live your life strictly dedicated to you and God. But if you have a household, meaning other people in it, should I even say more?
It is so offensive to think that a man would think that you would like him for free. It is so offensive for a man to think that you would give him your time, your body, marriage, have his children, carry on his legacy, have an extension of him for free. It is just as easy to fall in love with a broke man as it is a generous man or a rich man. So choose wisely. I know you would like to think that you don't choose who you fall in love with, but that is very far from the truth. Anyone that you give substantial amount of time to and energy to is someone that you could fall in love with. So when you let your thoughts run wild, even if you're not with them physically, if you're allowing someone to consume your thoughts and you're not being intentional, you could fall in love with that person. I personally do not believe in struggle love. I will not be with a man that's going to make me struggle with him because I do not believe a man that truly loves you would want you to struggle. Okay? And just know that love is a feeling. Even if you're super in love with somebody today, down the line, there's going to be a point in time you're going to fall out of love and you're going to have to learn how to fall in love with them again, right? That's how relationships work. It takes a lot of effort from both partners to keep the relationship going. So wouldn't you rather just start off with somebody that has clear direction and a man with a plan than to choose somebody that doesn't even know how to take care of themselves? Stop loving these men for free. Please.
Dude in the comments said, you know what it's called when you sell that right. She does. She just doesn't care.
I would hate to be a man. I ain't gonna hold you. I would hate to be a man. Men can't do anything. They can't do or enjoy anything. I am literally in the middle of doing my makeup, right? And I was scrolling as one does. I'm watching videos, and this video comes across my timeline of this woman basically saying that she doesn't want her man, you know, in a bunch of jewelry. She doesn't like the jangly. Now I'm thinking she's gonna say like her reason for not liking it is like a sensory thing, but no, of course not. She then proceeds to say that the only thing that her man is allowed to have is a Glock and grills. That's it. A Glock and grills. I'm going to the comment section. It's more of the same. Glock, grills, a wedding band or a ring, and a watch, and that's it. And I'm just thinking to myself, what? I could have sworn like we liked men with fashion. I could have sworn having a man that cared about his appearance, that put time and effort into his appearance, was an attractive thing. It's not attractive anymore. And then to top it off, there are a bunch of those annoying ass comments about like, well, who's gonna be the girls? And I'm just sitting here thinking like, again, when did accessorizing, when was that solely and exclusively a female thing? A thing that women do? I'm confused. Last time I checked, fashion, was a form of self-expression, creativity. It's like art. And this idea that men are not even allowed to be artistic and to express themselves without it being this underlying tone of what. She never said that explicitly. The comment section was a little, but you know exactly what I'm getting at. It's almost like when men, actually take care of themselves, men that like to go to the nail salon and get a manicure, whether it's a basic manicure and a buff, or if they actually go get their nails painted, that all of a sudden, they are less of a man because, they go and do things that are typically associated with women. God forbid a man want to take care of his hangnails. God forbid he want to make sure that, that the nails are nice and cut so there's not crap underneath it when he does things with, the woman in his life. God forbid he paint them and they match his clothes. I'm just confused as to what men simply enjoying things. Because again, these are things that are not specific to anybody. We have just decided that. Why? Just why? And before you fix yourself to say, well, if you want to let your man do that, you could let your man do that. But as for me and mine, listen, first things first, I like women. Okay, I don't have any intention of going back to dating men. I don't foresee that being a thing. I don't. But at the same time, I can recognize when I smell it. And y'all are ridiculous. Y'all be so focused on whether or not a man presents as a man, but not focused on the actual traits of what makes a man a man. You're cool as long as your man is not, walking around here with pearls around his neck or painted fingernails. But he's a piece of shit. He's got kids that he doesn't take care of. He doesn't have a car to his name. But he's a man. He's a hyper-masculine man. But he don't take care of nothing. You would rather have that. You would rather have that. Or even have someone who talks to you crazy over someone who is more in touch with their feelings, more in touch with their feminine side. Because you don't want that person because he paints his nails. Because it's Halloween and he decided to get a ghost put on his thumb. Are y'all okay? Honestly, at this point, I just feel bad for y'all because it's clear that your priorities are not in place, which is why you guys keep having the kind of engagement with men that you're having. But, what would I know?
Well, you have to understand that these modern women are self-centered. So if you do something, don't do it where it outdoes her. Does that make sense? She's very selfish, very conceited. So if you look better than her, or if you got a skincare routine that's more extensive than hers, then she already feels insecure about that.
I was speaking to my friend this morning and we were sharing all of the horrific experiences we'd had with our abusive ex-boyfriends, and the common theme that kept cropping up again and again was a denial not just of our feelings but of our humanity, which is a manifestation of a lack of empathy. And it made me think about how men are socialised to treat women this way, and the fact that throughout history, men have been socialised not only to view women as objects for their own gratification, but to hate and punish women who express emotion. Whether that's plying them with sedatives, getting them sectioned or lobotomised, disqualifying them from public office because they're too hysterical, or disregarding their pain because they're too emotional. In every single realm of both public and private life, men have been taught to not have empathy for women. They have been taught to view them as accessories to their own life, whether that's for sexual or reproductive labour, and that when a woman expresses emotion, not to approach it with compassion and empathy, but to view it as a problem to be discarded or shut down. And many of women's emotional expressions that are penalised by society are just a response to abuse and oppression, and therefore recognising the validity of these emotions would threaten the status quo. But I think there's another element to men's need to shut women's emotions down. Emotions are a disruption to the dehumanisation of women. They disturb the illusion that they are an object that exists for men's gratification. It transforms them from a trophy, a doll, a whole, to a living human being deserving of dignity and respect. The point I'm making is that a lack of empathy is central to abuse, and when society teaches men that women's emotions are a problem and doesn't teach them to view women as human, it is wiring their brains to not have empathy for women, and that is the gateway to abuse.
One guy says it's literally no different than how women respond to male grievances. Facts. Another person says it's a capitalist mentality. Everything is a competition and winning is all. Women are prizes, a big house is a prize, a big car is a prize, earning a lot of money is a prize. Guess what? Capitalism doesn't prize empathy, kindness, solidarity. Capitalism apparently doesn't care about that. I'll say this. I see where you're coming from, but you guys continue to say that it's all men doing it. It's the vast majority of men doing it, when in fact, that's not true. Maybe you don't know how to communicate with him and vice versa, because men and women communicate in different ways, but continuing to say that you guys are the only ones, this is the problem. You guys continue to say, well, I'm the only one that has empathy or sympathizes or has feelings. When really a man says something, you don't like it, then you turn it off. We see plenty of videos where women are talking about the men's loneliness epidemic. It's their fault, and the unaliving rates of men, and how they need to fix that, and they deserve it and stuff like that. And you're talking about men don't have empathy for women? Come on, guys.
Okay, unpopular opinion, don't jump me, right? I don't like when girls embarrass men when they try to talk to them in public. Like, there was one time I was out, right? And this guy was trying to talk to this girl. He was trying to step down this girl. He was like, what's up, beautiful? He was like, how you doing? She was just like, ew, hell no, what the fuck? What the fuck? And don't get me wrong, right? Some of you can be creeps. Some of you guys can be creeps. I'm not all the way on your side. But the guys that aren't creeps, the guys that just genuinely just try to go talk to women and women just shut them down so harshly like that, y'all need to cool it, relax. Me, I'm nice, right? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and, you know what I'm saying, be whatever, but I'm nice to an extent of, if I'm interested, I'll just be like, oh no, I'm okay, sorry, I have a boyfriend, or I have 7 kids, or like, you know, whatever, like, you know, just whatever. Now, if he keeps on with the keep on, then yeah, girl, be a little spicy, you know what I'm saying, put your foot down. But if it's off rip, nah, bruh, I can't even imagine one of my sons, if I had a son, coming up and trying to talk to a girl like that. I don't know.
I just think it's so crazy how people could see someone like me, and I'm not even trying to gas myself up, but I'm just gonna say like a pretty girl, you know, and they're gonna want to be with me because I'm so attractive, whatever they might think. And then when they like actually get the opportunity to be with me, they resent me for the attention that I receive. Just when like another man who intimidates them comes in the room, the hostility is now turned onto me, where it's almost like you're angry at me because you're scared that somebody else is gonna like, that you're gonna lose me to someone else. So you start treating me poorly, and it's just so weird because it's like, what is wrong with you in the head? Like, honestly. And that's why you really shouldn't be with insecure people. Like, insecure people, insecure friendships, insecure, like, family members. Like, insecurity is just not your friend. So, Ember.
That might be the case that they're insecure, but are you doing things to make it clear that you're not interested in the guys that are coming up to you and giving you attention? What are the things that the guys are saying? Are they saying things out of pocket? You're not saying any of that. You're just saying that the man is insecure. What are you doing to reassure him as you would want a man to reassure you?
Chat, I need your help. So tell me why I asked my man, hey babe, do you think I have pretty good privilege? And he's like, well, what even is that? And I'm like, so the example that I gave him was like, I can get into a club just because I'm pretty type. And you know what this man says? He says, I don't know. I don't make the rules. Like, what does that even mean? Like, what should I do? I don't know.
Sometimes I see a girl so exceptionally beautiful that her boyfriend just pisses me off. Like, what could you have possibly done to deserve this? What could you have possibly done, Jacob? Ugh, you don't even understand.
I don't know, be a good human being. There was a lot of women in the comments talking about whatever that guy's name is, that, I don't know if they're married, Selena Gomez and that guy. Oh, what about him? How did he get with Selena Gomez? I don't know, by being a good person. But y'all say that y'all want, by being a person that connects, that empathizes with her. Ugh, gross.
If more women own more homes than men, vote at higher rates than men, do not have to do dirty, grueling work as often as men by any measure, men hold debt at higher levels than women, yet women graduate at higher rates and have higher rates of higher education, and women claim they have no duty to be a mother, but courts often side with them and go in their favor because of the expectation and role and presupposition of them intending to be a mother. Insurance is less expensive for women, and rates are higher in men. Women also have lower crime rates and are convicted at a lesser rate for the same crimes as men. And yet the majority of the enforcing all these rights and laws are men, including the military draft, which only men have to sign up for. And yet somehow the patriarchy is oppressing women. So is the patriarchy actually that bad, or is it actually pretty benevolent?
Do y'all just hate partners? Why is it every single time I talk about things that I do for my boyfriend, I get people in my comments not you doing all this for a man. I love him. Oh my God.
All right, men. Speaking to the men out here, the comments in my last video about why men don't approach women in public are truly disheartening and so sad. I promise you that not all women act like you guys think. There's so much overgeneralizing the woman to be this ferocious creature with I promise you that is not all women. Which begs the question, maybe have you ever thought that maybe you're attracting this sort of woman? Maybe there's something within you that is attracting a woman like that. Because I promise you, not all women are like that. Not all women believe that when a man approaches them, they automatically have these all these red flags and they think predator. No. I promise you that's not true. Speaking from a woman. I read this quote and it said that women need to hang out with women who have a healed perspective of men, and men need to hang out with men who have a healed perspective of women. That's what I encourage all of you guys to do, and to find that community. Because I see a lot of hurt. There's a lot of hurt. There's a lot of unhealed men, unhealed women walking this planet. And I promise you, it doesn't have to be that way.
Club culture died when y'all started making women paid again. Okay, I know people love to say, oh, it was the music, they stopped making dancing music. No, it was when y'all started making women pay. Because at the end of the day, when I started clubbing, the women got in free and the men paid. Why? Because us women bring out the men. Men come because they know there's going to be girls there. And as soon as y'all started treating us like boys, it wasn't fun no more, okay? Anytime you go into a club and you first walk in and you scope the scenery, the first thing, this is how you know it's going to be a bad vibe. When you scope the scenery and you say, dang, there's a lot of men here. There's a lot of men in here and not enough women. For every one woman, there's 10. That ain't fun. That's the thing that you're ooh, you might need to go somewhere else. There's too many in here. And I know men say the same thing because you want to be where the girls are at, right? And I feel like this Metro Boomin situation is a prime example of how far club culture has died, how far gone it is. Because this man literally had to end his event early because grown men would not get off the stage. Thing about it is, if it was a bunch of women on the stage and they said get off, the women would have got off. But these grown men who like to stand on platforms, like to stand in sections and be corny and be the girls who gonna be the boys, ruined a whole event. Metro Boomin probably walked in and said, "Who's too many in here?" And it's equivalent to you being a grown man and going in another man's section and then arguing that you don't want to get out of that man's section. Why are y'all trying to be up there with like groupies? Y'all want to be girls. Y'all want to be girls, and that's why clubbing ain't fun no more.
So basically, you have to pay your own way. now, and you're upset about that. So basically, you can't get anything for free anymore, and you're upset about that. Life is tough.
Last night I was talking to a man I had just met, and me and my friend were grilling him, like, who did you vote for? What are your stances? And we got on the topic of feminism. And he was like, women definitely have it harder than we do. Like, women are definitely more marginalized, and all of those type of sentiments. And I was like, are you a feminist? He's like, I wouldn't say that. And I was like, why? He's like, I don't know. I don't know if that like fits. Like, I mean, I believe in equality for women for sure. And like, I recognize all the struggles that y'all go through, but I don't think I would use that word. And I was like, do you believe that women and men are equal? He's like, oh yeah. And I was like, okay, you're a feminist. He's like, what? Really? I'm like, yes, that is what feminism is. I just thought it was very interesting because he wasn't like, ew, feminism. He was like, I don't know if that fits me. And I was like, well, do you believe in equality of the genders? And he's like, oh yeah. It's just interesting. I feel like there's obviously a lot of stigma and almost like embarrassment around the word feminist for men specifically.
Somebody in the comments said this sounds more like an interrogation than just a normal conversation. Why are y'all interrogating people? Y'all know y'all don't like that. Y'all be doing stuff that y'all don't want men to do to y'all, and y'all be acting weird about it. Maybe it's because of radical feminism. Maybe they don't want to be involved with that foolishness and all of the dumb stuff that some of these ladies say. Have you ever thought about that?
All right, let's recap our first ever Tampa singles mixer. Also, I was getting comments on some of the other videos like, how did it go? How did it go? And I'm sorry that it took this long to record this video. I have not had a second to breathe this weekend, and I have not recorded a single video. This is my first one at Monday, 8:30 in the morning. Okay, first and foremost, I want to start off by saying I cannot thank everybody enough that showed up. If you showed up to the Tampa singles mixer, just seeing people come in was the craziest feeling, and maybe some of you guys aren't going to understand it, but I just took a step back and I was like, who the f am I? This little girl, Sabina, decided to put this event together, and like people are actually showing up. Like people took time out of their day on a Friday to sit back and go, I'm going to go to this mixer that this girl is hosting. So I don't know how to explain it, but I'm very grateful. I'm so thankful. I thought it was the coolest thing, like seeing people come in. I was like, oh, like they're here for like an event that I put together. Obviously, second, and the most important is people wondering, like, did any connections come out of it? And I'm here to say that there did. So far, so good. I'm not going to say that, like, every single person found somebody. That's definitely not going to be the case. But I have gotten several DMs, and friends of mine as well, that have walked away from the mixer with multiple numbers, date set, and one of my friends already went on a date. I think the other best part of this is that a lot of people genuinely did not know each other in the room. I saw this in other videos, like the girlfriends that I have here in the Tampa area, they have their own friend groups. I have my own friend group. So like, you know a good amount of people. And when I tell you that the people that were in this room, like pretty much no one knew anyone. It was like all new faces, which is super cool for Tampa because I always say that it's a small, big city. I will say what I learned with these type of things, I, for the most part, was just kind of standing back and observing or just walking around and meeting people and just saying thank you and introducing myself. For the most part, at these kinds of events, I would say just from watching everybody, you definitely have to put yourself out there. In the beginning, when there was fewer people, and then when the room was like, when we had like our peak attendance, you definitely couldn't just kind of stand around. Like you kind of had to go up and, you know, introduce yourself to people. And so I was watching one of my friends, she was killing it. She would just go up to guys and be like, hi, nice to meet you. My name is blah, blah, blah. You know, and then just start talking. And I think that's what you had to do, because I also noticed a lot of people just kind of like sitting back and waiting, or if they came with a friend, they were just kind of hanging around that one friend in hopes that someone would come talk to them. And I get it, it's very nerve-wracking, but I think at these events, like you have to understand that it's just a green light, right? Like you can go up to anybody. Everyone hypothetically should be single in the room. So it's like, go do your thing. And I think a lot of people were kind of holding back in the beginning, but once the drinks started hitting, I saw a lot of people chatting. I want to give a huge thank you to the venue, our Wine Stream Cellars Winery. First of all, the venue was amazing. If you guys have never checked them out, I highly recommend. They throw mass parties. They're throwing a massive New Year's Eve party. The link for tickets is in my bio. The venue was unreal, like beautiful, gorgeous. The lighting was perfect. The drinks were amazing. 10 out of 10. Our amazing freaking DJ, my friend is friends with him and she got him to come and, you know, he set up for us. Absolutely amazing. I saw one comment on like another TikTok video where Somebody was like, the music was too loud. Why was the vibes that way? Because in the beginning, for the first hour, it wasn't like that. It was a lot less. The music was chill, basically. And then as the night progressed, people started drinking, people started dancing. We had to change the genre of music. And then obviously a huge shout out to Blake Capital Group for sponsoring the event and paying for everyone's first round of drinks. Everybody was having an amazing time. So anyways, for this little girl to throw this event on with the help of some of her friends and then our amazing sponsors and our venue, it definitely takes a village to throw an event of this caliber. When we launched tickets at max capacity, I had it set to 280 tickets. And I'm not sure the amount of people that came. I would say probably half. But it was kind of hard to tell because I remember I have videos of like peak hour and like there was so many people, but then people were coming and going also. So I'm going to have to look at Eventbrite to see if I could somehow pull it because we had some issues with scanning tickets and all that stuff. But overall, genuinely from the bottom of my heart, I am so grateful the event went the way that it did. I definitely want to throw more of these in the future. I already had a lot of people commenting, hey, I couldn't make it. I would love to come to the next one. So I definitely want to throw another one pretty soon. But the one thing that genuinely bothered me from just like it irked me, maybe not even bothered me, I don't know, it was just kind of weird, is that I was getting a lot of DMs the night of on Instagram and even into the next morning like, hey, you know, I actually had tickets. I didn't know if people were going to show up and I didn't know if it was going to be fun. So I didn't come, but I saw the videos and oh my gosh, it looked so fun. I'm going to come to the next one. It's quite a weird thing to say to the event organizer. I would never say that. Like if somebody, you know, threw a party, I got a ticket. I don't think I would ever go out of my way to DM them and be like, hey, you know, I kind of second guessed your ability to throw a party and I decided I didn't come this time, but you know, I saw the videos and I'm definitely gonna come next time. So anyways, whatever, I just thought that was weird. But anyways, I have a lot of content because I was walking around, I was taking videos. We also had a social media team there that was taking content. So I'm gonna put together a video and I'm gonna show you guys because I'm so happy with the way it turned out. And if the relationships that I know of so far, like if anything's gonna come from them, we will definitely do some like post singles mixer event interview because I need these people to come forward and be like, you know what? I found my match at the Tampa Singles Mixer.
I kind of wonder what they were doing in order to get a good amount of attendance. And whatever they were doing, maybe a lot of these other singles mixers need to replicate that. One thing I will say is what a lot of men have said, why don't you approach the man if you don't want the man approaching you? I don't think I've ever really seen or really heard in mass of a woman getting rejected over and over again by men. Like if she comes to one and she gets rejected and the other men see it and she makes her way over there, they're not going to be looking at her like, you were just talking to those men. They're going to be like, hey, what's up? And try to form a connection. Unlike when you see men going up to women, oh, that makes you look desperate. So I think maybe there's a little bit of a different dynamic there. But kudos to you for putting on this event. Hopefully you have more success in the future, honestly.